that you made. That's a bed that you made. Aye, Katie, let's go.
All hell King Darius.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies. You children popping mollies. I'm so intelligent, my honesty turned into philosophy. I go hard in the paint, the harder I play. Nigga, I'm like Harden on James, a problem to face. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve, just look in my eyes. Nigga, you can do what you need, I do what is right. I don't fucking want what you have, just look at your life. Nothing but is sacred to me, it's out of my sight. That just means it's out of my mind, it's not worth the fight. Nigga, yeah, I'm out of my mind, I'm out of my mind. Hey, you did what you did. Yeah, you did what you did. Give a fuck about intentions. Don't give a fuck about intentions. You can watch what I do. You can watch what I do. Just stay the fuck out my mentions. Stay the fuck out my mentions. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing, 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 testicles, testing, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1878 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gamecast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and yell hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode, and today's episode of the Sleevescast is brought to you, is sponsored by Everest and K2 Flexin' on all you beaches. How we doing, fam?
What do you get? The fucking Catalina wine
Y'all.
mixer. The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
What's going on, beaches? Welcome to the Ask Papa Swolio Live, the Swolefam Sunday Funday Q&A. So we are going to jump right into today's episode. Going to take a lot of questions from Instagram, maybe from TikTok. We'll see what's up. But if you got a question live, drop it in the comments down below with the hashtag AskPapaSwolio. We can get into that right now. It is Sunday, June the 27th, and I see a lot of comments from Cerny and others. Sounds like it's really hot out there. I saw in the news, I saw that it's supposed to be a big heat wave out there in California and the Northwest. So stay cool, everyone. And cross your fingers for no major fucking fires. No fires. No fires. Let's not burn everything down to the ground. Literally. Let's not go camping and flicking cigarettes and shit out in the dry brush and all that stuff. You know, hopefully nothing ignites out there, but you know how that is. Sometimes some lightning or some stupid campers and all of a sudden the whole state's on fire. So hopefully it doesn't happen again. But it's pretty hot down here in Florida as well. It's pretty damn hot. It's pretty humid, it's sunny. It was actually kind of like gloomy. It was actually kind of gloomy and kind of gray and rainy for a couple days. And one of the problems with South Florida is, you know, the whole state, you know, Central Florida, South Florida, North Florida, West Florida, when it gets hot, it's just humid in the summer. It just gets really wet. And when you get that kind of stagnant, once it rains, you get that extra humidity afterwards. Now, I love Florida, but, you know, you never get used to that heat in the summer. You never quite get used to it. Every year I think, oh, I can't wait for it's warm and hot. And then it gets really hot and sunny and it's beautiful and it's great, but that's up until April and then May. And once you get kind of halfway through June into July, it's just hot, sweaty balls. And you remember, oh, fuck, this is why I don't like the summer. This is why people leave in the summer. But you get used to it, but you don't. It's shockingly hot. Every year. It's shockingly hot. But at least if you live in the desert, it's more dry. It's just hard when you go outside and it's a wet sponge, just like a ball sack. But we love some salty sack here though, right? We love some sweaty ball sack. All right, fam, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're live on YouTube every day over on the Daily Swole channel. Also, check out the Daily Swole podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But let's talk a couple moments about some other shows that we have. Fam, we got some new, more applause. More applause. I had to go a little bit extra with the applause today. We got some other shows, but check out the Swolenormous audio experience. Brand new episode dropped last night, or actually earlier this morning. So you can check out the Swolenormous audio experience wherever you are listening to the Daily Swole, or wherever you like to listen to your podcasts, available everywhere. And also give a look-see over at the Red, White, and Swole podcast and the Swolenormous Procast. There's going to be some more content on those as well coming up this week. So make sure you're subscribed. And then, of course, the new episode will pop right up. And, of course, leave a review on Apple Podcast. It helps a ton. And if you haven't yet done so for the Daily Swole podcast, make sure you do so, fam. Tomorrow's episode, before we get into some questions today, tomorrow's episode is private for members only. Now, I know a lot of you, oh, come on now. Come on now. You know the reason. You know the fucking reason.
Come on, stop whining.
That's right, Arnold. It's our weekly accountability meeting. So tomorrow, it's private for members only inside Swole TV. If you want to get access to all the private live streams, make sure you go over to swolenormousx.com and sign up today. Get started for less than $5. Get access to all the private live streams and really so much more. We had a great masterclass last Thursday about upper body compensations. On Monday is our accountability meeting where we go over, take a lot of private questions, anything with programming, anything with nutrition. I'll take as many questions as the Swolefam has, private Q&A. And also we go over amazing transformation photos. We go over amazing positive experiences in the past week and such from the fam. And of course, you know, it's not always up and up. Sometimes people are going through some shit, but we all come together on a Monday and start the week off right. If you start weeks on a Monday, we kind of start weeks on Friday, don't we, fam? We kind of do it on Friday. We start on Friday, so Monday we're already hit the ground running. Every day is another chance to get it, but you know how the calendar works. Most people kind of psychologically, even I'm still kind of stuck in that start your week on a Monday, but we always have an amazing episode on Monday. Tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. It will be live and it will be lit. We got awesome fucking releases. Tomorrow. So be there or be square. And of course, papaswolio.com, fam.
Wait, your bigger stickers? Here's a miss.
papaswolio.com. Make sure you go and check out the brand new apparel site. Listeners of the podcast, you could use code DailySwole for 10% off your order. We got lots of new gear. We got fast shipping. We have awesome styles with crop tops and hats and all these other cool brand new mugs available. So check it out over at papaswolio.com. Again, listeners of the Daily Swole podcast, use code DailySwole for 10% off your order. And that being said, let's fucking go, fam. We got a nut to bust. Drop your questions down the comments. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio, and let's get onto the nut. Freddie, take us away, Bish, for the busting of the nut. That's right, you little furry freak. I love you. Put some respect on it.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
All right, Freddie, settle down, fam. We got some 7 pillars, B-Shaves. We got some 7 pillars. That's a nice car. We haven't had a hot, sexy 7 pillars, and it kind of matches Tessie's outfit here. You look good, Tessie. Your hair looks like a hot fucking mess. You know what? Let's be honest. Tessie, you look like a hot mess. Looks like Falcon roughed you up a little bit last night. Ah, yeah, playing a little hide the beak there, eh, Falcon? I know. Hide the peppermint tip. Hashtag 7 pillars for a chance to win today's Swole card. Fam, let's get into some questions right about now. Let's fucking go. You got questions? Drop in the comments below because I have answers. If I don't have an answer, I'll say I don't, or I'll make up something funny, and we'll move on to the next question. All right, this one's from Pop-Up Carl. Pop-Pop Carl? Pop-Pop Carl. I guess your grandfather? Pop-Pop? Pop-Pop Carl. Papa Swolio, how do I increase lean muscle mass in my 60s? Well, the same way you would build muscle mass in your 50s or your 40s or your 30s. You need to be getting in enough protein. You need to be training hard enough. You need to be getting plenty of sleep. You know, when you get older, your testosterone naturally drops. So sleep is going to be extremely important. Whether or not you're interested in doing testosterone replacement therapy, you could look into that. But it's not going to be any different than how you would build muscle when you're younger. It's just more challenging when you get older because your body is essentially on the back nine. It's just how the body works. Testosterone drops. It's hard to build and maintain muscle, but you can build muscle at any age. You could build muscle in your 70s. You could build muscle in your 80s. You can build strength and coordination, maybe not to the extent as you can in your 20s and 30s, but that's how the cookie crumbles. So you can do it the same way. Just make sure that it depends on what your experience is, Carl. If you've been exercising your whole life, it doesn't sound like you have just because you're asking, how do I increase lean muscle mass? If you've been training your whole life, you would know it's the same way just by experience. But that's the one thing I'd be careful of. You just don't want to jump into the deep end of the pool. So if you haven't had a lot of experience, you're going to have movement compensations. You're going to have really stiff and brittle joints. It's going to be a new stress. And at that age, if you've never exercised, just got to start off slow. Make sure you're practicing your yoga, getting in plenty of healthy fats. I mean, bone broth and collagen's fantastic, plenty of sleep, getting in your, Celtic sea salt, getting your vitamins, minerals, organ meats, and then, of course, do an elimination diet and figure out which foods work best for you. But it's no different than any other age. So hopefully that helps, Carl. Every time I hear Carl, it's like, it reminds me of Billy Madison. Okay, Carl.
Chlorophyll?
Thanks, Carl.
More like borophyll.
Yeah. 7 pillars, man. 7 pillars. Ain't that complicated, right? 7 pillars all day, day. All right, let's see what we got here. Metal Militia 85.
What's in the box?
What's in the box, Bish? Metal Militia Ocho Cinco. Papa Swolio, does cardio hurt gains as long as you're eating enough? Well, I think that's going to depend on the person. Depends on what you mean by cardio, and it depends on how much you're doing and what you mean by eating enough. It's really about eating the quality foods that you should be eating, and of course, the proper quality of those, the proper quantity of those quality foods. So, yeah, in all my experience, you don't want to overdo it with the cardio if you're trying to make gains. It really doesn't go hand in hand. If you're lifting super heavy and then doing a lot of cardio, unless you're taking a lot of juice and you are dieting down for a competition, training hard and doing a ton of cardio don't really go hand in hand in my experience. It's going to be very depleting. It's going to be exhausting. And it really just shifts the focus away from you putting on maximal size, if that is your goal. Doesn't mean you can't do any cardiovascular activity, but doing cardio and focused cardio is really overblown in fitness. You get plenty of cardiovascular benefits from yoga, from going in the sauna, from doing kettlebell work and doing other kinds of dynamic lifting. You could do general cardio for heart health, but you don't have to kill yourself. You can do plyometrics, you can do sprints or hill sprints, but doing long distance cardio, it depends on how much you're doing and what your adaptations are. But oftentimes there's that point of diminishing returns that people go way, way, way past. So you'll notice that if you're lifting super heavy and you're doing tons of cardio, it's just going to drain you. If nothing else, it's just going to exhaust you. It's too much. It's too much. When I was bulking and getting lean, I've never really focused on doing tons of cardio, maybe 10 or 15 minutes warming up. And I do the sauna regularly. So I'm sweating, I'm out of breath, and I'm doing a lot of walking and shit like that. But anytime I started doing more cardio, it just, muscles go flat and just exhausting. It's just, lifting takes enough out of you. You got to focus on recovery. So what I usually say is focus on lifting, focus on yoga, and then if you got extra time, then you could sprinkle and use cardiovascular as kind of like a seasoning. A little bit goes a long way. A little bit goes a long way. Tyler, should I avoid polyunsaturated and monounsaturated? Polyunsaturated. Monounsaturated is probably fine. That's usually what avocado oil and olive oil or monounsaturated. But you want to avoid polyunsaturated fats. You want to stay away from vegetable oils. Anna Marisa, Papa Swolio. So will I lose all my gains from Swole season if I start training for a long run once I finish? I'm in week 17 now. I don't know. It depends. If you it's not going to help you. It's not going to keep you. It's not going to help keep your gains. That's not exactly what you should be doing after a bulking program like Swole season. So chances are, yes, your body is going to adapt to whatever style of training. So if you go from a muscle building program in Swole season and go right into a long distance running training, sure, you're changing the input. It's going to change the output. Unless you're doing the same type of training and maintaining that same type of input, your body isn't going to keep the muscle mass that you've accrued because it's all adaptation. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's a very good way to think about it. If you don't use your muscles, if you don't overload your muscles, if you're not lifting the same way that you did to get the muscles to where they are now, they're not going to stay that way. You might still have some of the shape, but they're going to get softer, less dense. You're not going to have the same strength. So for me, if I might not be lifting as heavy and as intensely as I was 10 years ago, but I'm a little bit leaner. It depends on how you're looking at it, because you could look at a picture and be leaner and look bigger. I'm happier with my physique now than I was in the past. But at the same time, you change the input, it's going to change the output. Your body's only going to adapt to the stress that you put it under. So if you want to keep your muscle, you want to keep that size, or if you're happy with your results from lifting heavy and training like that, you go right into long distance running training. Sure, your body is going to shift gears. It's not going to be instant, but lifting heavy and doing long distance running is one of the things that I always recommend against, Anna. You want to do both. I mean, all my experience with lifting heavy and doing long distance running is just a lot of stress on the joints. They don't go hand in hand. It's pretty antithetical to do long distance cardiovascular and super heavy lifting. It's much easier to find that breaking point a lot quicker. Overuse injuries just from like that constant slamming on the joints. If you're running heel to toe, if you're running on pavement, the overuse injuries are so problematic with poor posture and just excessive use when it comes to cardio. And the kind of stress that lifting puts on the body depends on the kind of volume. It's just hard to balance that out well. Because think about it, if you're trying to make a lot of progress with endurance racing and you're also trying to lift to get stronger and bigger, it's like you're pulling your body into two completely different aspects of adaptation. So if you're doing muscle growth and muscle building and you're doing more high intensity cardiovascular, sprinting, hill sprints, shorter explosive, you'll get leaner, you'll get more shredded, and that can pair up very nicely. But you start going long distance running or long distance cardio and heavy lifting, and you're kind of pulling in different directions. Hey, Amazing Doom, thank you so much. I'm new here in chat, been listening to this podcast on Spotify for a while. Just wanted to say this community seems totally awesome. The Swolefam's the fucking tits, baby. I'm glad you finally made it to a live stream. Super cool. Thanks for checking in. And Anna, that's my experience and expertise. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that your execution of that might not work for you, but you just got to be careful because there's not a lot of time for recovery between lifting heavy and doing a lot of training. And then you might get into the concept or the protocol of lifting heavy and then doing running later that day. It just becomes a lot. I know because I've done it and it didn't work out well for me. I'm not saying it can't work out for other people. It's just from a programming standpoint, it's pretty much two different adaptations. You're going two different directions. It's not really in line. And what's your goal, right? What's your goal? Are you trying to lose weight and you're trying to get leaner? You don't need that kind of long distance cardio is my point. So it depends on what the goal is. If your goal is to complete a long distance run for bucket list type thing, hey, I've always wanted to do this run. That's a completely other thing. So it depends on what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it, right? Chewy Cookies. Can you let me know what I can improve on my form for deadlifts? The fuck?
Matt Damon.
How the fuck am I going to know what your deadlift form is from a question on Instagram stories, bro? Can you let me know what I can improve on my form for deadlifts? No clue. I have no idea what your form is because this is a question. What you should be focusing on to improve your form: hip flexor strength, glute activation, thoracic spine mobility. Make sure your body is mobile. Ankle dorsiflexion, very important. I love it. Can you tell me what's on my face? What am I wearing right now? That's a really good question. God, some of these questions are fucking hysterical. This is a good one. What else we got here? All right, if you got more questions, drop in the comments below.
What's in the box?
Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Only got a few more, so we'll take a lot more live. If you got them, we'll shoot the shit. Any other topics you want to, it doesn't have to be a question. If you want to bring up a topic, you could drop in the comments. Anywhere you want the conversation to go. I always try to bias towards the questions, but also anyone that's watching live, I'll take a live question priority over these pre-submitted ones. Genre Leap. I can't even fucking talk. Genre Leap on Instagram. Ever had horse meat? I don't think so. Has anyone here had horse meat? I've heard it's good, but I haven't had not lately. No, I don't think I've ever had horse meat. I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. I feel like I would know that. I feel like I would know if I've had horse meat, but I've heard it's good. I'm not sure where I heard that, but I assume it's good. It must be good. Most meats are good. Most meats are good, so I would assume it is. All right, let's see. Citrine. Excuse me. Citrine, should I just bring food everywhere I go if I have allergies? APS. Well, I think that answer, I would think that question answers itself. Yes. Whenever you can. I do personally. I bring food whenever I can. If I'm going out during the day, and I usually only eat once or so a day, I might not bring anything because I'm not going to eat till later, but I used to. If I'm going somewhere during a time where when I'd want to eat, I always bring food. I always bring with me. Either I bring my own food with me, or I intend to not consume until I get back home to eat my food. Unless I'm going to get sushi or specifically going out to get something to eat, then that's the case. But of course, bring it. You have to. If you have allergies, you have to bring it. Doesn't mean you can't get somewhere, oh, they have X, Y, and Z. I think I can have that and have no problems. Then that's your choice. You're an adult. And that's why doing the elimination diet is empowering, because you learn. You're learning what foods do for your body, so that way you can make dynamic decisions in your life. You don't have to be a slave to preparing food always. You don't have to wonder, oh, I wonder if I should eat this. You know exactly what foods you could decide on the fly. You don't have to. You're not following some kind of cookie cutter dietary approach. You're actually customized, so you know which foods work best for you. You could order something without tomatoes or without eggplant, or without peppers, or without a bun or whatever. But if you want to control, honestly, that's why I eat at home. Because if you actually want to control your nutrition, and seriously, if you want to optimize your results, you need to take control of your food. You have to take control of your food. So like 1,000%, I would bring my shit for sure. I've been going to events more often, and there's always stuff I can't eat. I don't want to get ridiculed, but no. Fuck everyone else. They can go fuck themselves. Yourself. Get ridiculed. They can fuck off. Most people are just jealous at your discipline. If you're finding that you want to go eat places and they don't have foods that are good for you, then yes, you have to bring your own food. It doesn't have to be glorious or glamorous. It just is what it is. I went to my aunt's place for my dad for Father's Day, and I brought my own fucking food. I brought some leftover steak and some mangoes, and she had some other stuff there. And I'm like, I just ate my steak. I went there for the company. I don't care how anyone feels about the food that they made. It's like, fine. I brought my own food. I didn't want to have potato salad or whatever the heck was there I wasn't the only person there anyway, but I brought my food. It was a good move. Always is. It always is, because guess what? If you bring your own food, you know exactly what's going to be there. If you bring your own food, there's no discrepancy. If you bring your own food, there's no question about it. You know what you are going to have there. You know what's going to be there. If you don't bring your own food, then you have no fucking idea, and you're at risk for whatever everyone else wants to do. They don't know your elimination, or they're not trying to make progress. It's not their discipline that needs to be on point. It's yours. It's preparation, right? All right. Anna, my goal is to train for a half marathon in November, but I want to keep lifting at the same time. But I guess once I finish, I can go hard in swole season again. You can. It seems like kind of a weird switch. You did Swole season and then you're just going to like unravel that and just not lift heavy or something. Like, I don't know what you just did that. And now you can shift whatever you want. Try it. If it turns out not to your satisfaction, you know, it doesn't work. Maybe it works out fine for you. You can keep lifting. You just might not want to train as heavy because now your goals shifted. That's a huge difference. A half marathon is a lot different than lifting heavy and bulking. So it's really up to you. Of course you could do Swole season again. So maybe that'll work out for you. I couldn't tell you. It depends on how you're going to lift with it and what your running protocols are. Papa Swolio, how does tempo matter? What are the benefits of slow controlled reps versus quick reps? Muscle fiber activation and also time under tension. So tempo absolutely matters. If you're trying to work more stabilization, you want to do slower eccentrics. You're getting sore and you're building muscle based on the eccentric contraction, not the concentric or the isometric. When the muscle is lengthening, so the lowering of a barbell curl, the lowering of a bench press, the lowering of a squat, the lowering of a lunge, the downward motion of a pull-up. The eccentric, when your muscles are lengthening, that's when you're getting sore. That's when you're really doing the most damage. So tempo absolutely matters, especially with stabilizer muscles. You want longer time under tension, slower controlled reps. It's always important to control. And then when you're more advanced, when you're doing more heavy lifting, you can kind of do a little bit, some cheat reps, but you always want to control the descent. And it depends. If you're training more for power, you drop the overload and you do faster repetitions or explosive with a plyo ball or not plyo ball, medicine ball or squat jump, something like that. You're lowering the overload. You're lowering the intensity, but you're increasing the speed and the explosive nature of the contraction. So it depends on what the outcome is and also the application. If you're doing a stabilization exercise, it's very weird. A lot of people use the Bosu balls and stuff, but they just bounce up and down. They do stabilization on single leg shit, but they go fast. You really want to go slow and controlled when you're doing stabilization work. Otherwise, you're not really stabilizing. So it gets deeper than that. That's a little general overview, but it gets very specific depending on the context. What got you on mangoes? I love mangoes and I have a huge mango tree in the backyard. So tons of mangoes. It's all over now. The mango season, or at least this tree, is done. So there's still a bunch of mangoes in the fridge I have to chop up. I just had like 5 or 6 earlier. They're so good. Let's see. Bunny, what are the best kind of eggs to get? I would opt for, make sure you're getting eggs that doesn't have any soy in it. And pastured eggs, you want to make sure you're getting as free range as possible. Pastured eggs are usually the best. You can get them from a local farm. You get them from a supermarket, but try not to opt for the more mass-produced or, you know, the real confined, unhealthy chickens. It's really hard unless you have your own chickens, you have a local farm. A lot of times, if you just look online or search locally, you'll have individuals that sell eggs and maybe sometimes put them in a container at the end of the street, and you can go and just put some money in and take some eggs, or you can get them fresh. A lot of people have chickens. I wouldn't mind having chickens. I just don't really want to take care of them right now. But I'm thinking about it. Tyler, can I train every day with dumbbells light and heavy on different days, or can I still train without weights and just do body weight? Depends on what your program is. Why are you lifting weights every single day? I mean, can and should are different things. Depends on what you're actually trying to do. Let's see. Doom, amazing Doom. Papa Swolio, what type of workout equipment would you recommend for someone who can't afford a lot? I'm a student and therefore don't have much money left at the end of the month. I would recommend bands and kettlebell. So if you're a student, you probably don't have a lot of space. If you're a student, don't you have a school with a gym, like a student pass perhaps? Maybe there's student discounts at local gyms. You can look into that. But bands are great. Bands are great for overload. I would look into body elastics. You can get bands that provide up to like a couple 100 pounds resistance. You can get like a door anchor set or door anchor system that goes around the door. Also, so bands are really good, and a kettlebell can be really great for power and for strength, and it's pretty dynamic. So for space and for price, you don't have to buy a bar and buy all this other stuff. With the bands, you can get a bar, you could do different things, but I would recommend I wouldn't say Indian clubs. I mean, Indian clubs are great. It depends on how much money you have. It really needs to get more specific, because if you're trying to build muscle, you're better off doing a kettlebell for the strength and for the power and for the joint stability and for the dynamic nature of them. Depends on how much space you have and how much you're actually looking to spend. It's a big difference. You have $100, you have $500, big difference. Indian clubs are great. You need a little bit, I don't want to say you need a little bit more space than a kettlebell, but you can do a lot. You can do a lot more with the kettlebell than Indian clubs. But those are great. I love them. Ooh, it's starting to get hot in here. Not too much longer. It's really hot today. Really, really hot in here. I can't handle being in here too much longer. So we'll take a couple more questions. And remember, tomorrow we got our accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern time. So if you want to join the fam, check out down below, swolenormousx.com. God, it's fucking hot in here. Oof. Super hot. Super hot. All right. Oof. Spicy in here. Ah, spicy. Ever had horse meat? That's that question. All right. Let's see here. Erch. ERC hashiznai. Whatever. Should I full on combo with intermittent fasting and going to the gym? Is it safe? Whoa, that's a mouthful. Should I full on combo? I wouldn't say intermittent fasting going to the gym is a combo of anything. It's probably the most safe thing. It's super safe. You're just skipping breakfast essentially and then going and exercising. So yeah, it's completely safe. You do realize, I guess you don't because you're asking the question, but you're not supposed to eat all the fucking time. You're not supposed to eat all the day long. You're not supposed to eat 6 fucking times a day. Supposed to. You're not supposed to be eating 3 meals. It's not normal. You really shouldn't be eating that much, that often. So I would focus more on time restricted eating. So intermittent fasting, whatever you want to call it, but save a few hours out of the day and eat during that window. And then, yeah, go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym, bitch. Go to the fucking gym. Oh, go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym. Go to the gym, bish. Go to the gym. Ay, ay, ay. Is it safe? Is it secret? Is it safe? Let's see here. All right, Derek Brosart. What's up, Derek Brosart? All right, DB. Any advice to the shift workers out there? Sacrifice sleep for workouts or workouts for sleep? That's a really tough question because if you're a shift worker, you're fundamentally fucking yourself. It's just so bad for you. It really is. Being awake at night, it's just not good. It's not good not getting enough sleep. You're already sacrificing sleep and your cortisol is through the roof just because you've swapped your natural circadian rhythm. So you really don't, I wouldn't sacrifice sleep for workouts. I mean, you have to do it. I would recommend doing it first because you're not going to want to do it once you get off the clock. It depends on what your shift schedule is. I guess they're all different. But man, I would recommend lifting right before you go. That way it'll wake you up. Yeah, that's brutal. It's brutal. Any advice? Man, you need to make sure you're getting your nutrients, meditating, lowering your stress as much as possible. I mean, making sure you're sleeping in a cold, dark room, black out your curtains, do all that shit. Make sure you're creating as much of a schedule as you possibly can. That's so tough. That's so tough. It's hard to give advice when it's like, hey, I'm going to completely flip my schedule. It's going to be really bad for my body and jack up my natural circadian. Like, how do I improve this? Like, it's really hard when you're fundamentally not changing the main thing that's causing you problems, right? It's how do I give you advice rather than get a different job? Not always possible or not always easy to do. It's sometimes easier said than done. You have to either learn a new craft or look for a new job. And today it's like, it's harder to do. So, you know, the advice would be the same thing. Stick to your 7 pillars as much as possible. The nutrition's ever more important. Also, meditation, lowering stress, but nothing, there's no replacement for sleep. That's the thing. There's no replacement for sleep. There's no supplement that, hey, if you don't sleep enough, take this and it's better for you. Or I didn't get enough sleep. If I eat this, this will be better for me. sleep is so fundamental. If you're not getting enough sleep or quality sleep, it's not just the length of sleep, it's the quality sleep. And if you're not getting enough, there really isn't a workaround for that. I think it's one of the quickest ways to shorten your lifespan, increase risks of heart disease and cancer and all that stuff is just not getting sleep. It's pretty much being human 101. All right. Hashtag 7 pillars for a chance to win today's Swole card. Drop in the comments below. And of course, check out swolenormousx.com for information on how to jump on that hot Swole summer special. It's still available right now. And of course, we got some new apparel over there at papaswolio.com. So check out papaswolio.com, fam. We got some new gear. And remember, we also have a special coupon code, Daily Swole, for 10% off your order. Check it out, papaswolio.com. So give that a look-see before you run off the man cast today, because you want to make sure that you're rocking some red, white, and swole for summer, don't you, Beesh? All right, let's get into another question. If you got more, drop in the comments below. Hashtag AskPapaSwolio. Bumblebee Fitness. Bumblebee tuna. Stiff after a hard workout. That's what she said.
I'd be the luckiest guy alive if that did it for me.
What are some tips on recovery? Well, you could do sauna, cold plunge, self-myofascial release, foam rolling, for example. You could use a magnesium oil spray or a magnesium supplement that can help tremendously, or an Epsom salt soak. You could practice yoga, meditate, go for a walk, some active recovery, get plenty of sleep, hydrate. You like that? Talk about a fucking answer. Boom, there you go. You know what people are going to hear? Huh? I got to change my lifestyle habits. Those are some tips for recovery, but there's a lot of different options. Just make sure you're doing all of those as well as possible, and it'll give you the most ability to recover faster. But being stiff after a hard workout, my chest is sore. My chesticles are sore from yesterday. So I know how you feel. I'm sorry to hear that, Jarella. She writes, my dad worked swing shift for 30 years, helped him to an early grave at 54. Ugh, sorry to hear that. Papa, ever heard of split sleeping? Not in that phrase, but what, you sleep a little bit now and then you split up your sleep? I'm assuming. Doesn't sound that hard to understand, but is that what you mean? I've never heard of that phrase, but let's see here. All right, we got one more question from Instagram, and then any topics that you want to follow up. And if you ain't got anything to add, we'll wrap this up and you all can go and get your pump on, and we'll reconvene tomorrow for the accountability meeting. So any last questions, drop in the comments below. This one's from official Tyler account. Papa Swolio, what are ways to increase, what is everyone asking testosterone level questions? Get more sleep. Didn't we just fucking answer this question? Did we just answer this fucking question? Let's go to Matt Damon anyway. Matt Damon. Not because this account is a Matt Damon, but everyone's asking about get better sleep, eat quality food, and, as you get older, you're going to have to look into some other types of therapy to increase testosterone. There's no magic way to do it. Lifting weights, training hard. You need to make sure you're putting your body in a position to need to maintain testosterone production. Cut out all the soy, environmental toxins, get plenty of sleep, stop fucking your eyes with blue light, stop watching porn, stop scrolling on your fucking phone late at night, cut out the blue light. It's pretty simple to live a longer, healthier life, but as you get older, you might want to start looking into hormone replacement. HRT is so popular right now. Yeah, I mean, I told you all, when people ask me, I'm open to it. I just haven't gone and gotten, testing done to see what my levels are, but I'm totally open to it. I mean, I'm still maintaining muscle, lifting hard, but I'm sure my testosterone levels are lower than they used to be. It would make sense. So when it becomes a viable option, I'll consider it, and I probably will do it. I'm not sure when. And, technology keeps on getting better and better, and it's safe if you're doing it under a doctor's supervision. You're not doing extra to the point where you're trying to look like a fucking cartoon character. So I don't think there's anything wrong with anti-aging and longevity and living a long, healthier life. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So it's a personal choice. Can you imagine if I fucking do HRT in the next 5 or 10 years? I'm going to be a goddamn monster, even if it's just bringing my levels back up. I'm going to be fucking yoked. I'm going to be fucking yoked. I'm going to be like a 50-year-old dude, just be a fucking monster. Like The Rock. That guy is so sauced up. I love how some people think he's fucking natural. Isn't that ridiculous? I love how some people think The Rock is natural. Yeah, well, he's just a big guy. He's Samoan. Yeah, okay, sure. He has veins coming out of his fucking eyeballs. Sure. Like that guy, fucking natural. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. Oh my God. People still want to believe in Santa Claus. Fucking nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Papa ends up like a jacked grandpa. Totally. Dude, totally. Hey, it's my birthday in a month. We got Papa Swolio. We got the Papa Swolio birthday feast. Birthday feast? I don't know why I said feast, but birthday party? We'll have a Swole birthday party. Yeah. For reals. For reals. All right. Amazing Doom. Finishing up my eating window with a nice warm cup of bone broth. Say what? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Sunday, greatest country in the world.
Yeah, birthday ribeye. Yeah, that's right. Well, every day is my birthday then. Pretty much my birthday is every day. A birthday ribeye, not a problem. Not a problem. Let's see. Dude just saw a video on how enhancements are so common in Hollywood. Oh, yeah. Didn't Zac Efron got his whole face fucking filled up? Filler? You mean facial fillers and HRT? All the actors do it. Think about it. You're getting paid $20 million for a movie. You take a little extra testosterone, you get lean and ripped for a 6-week shoot. They all do it. They all do it. No question about it. You need to look a certain way for a movie that millions of people are going to see. We're going to pay you $20 million. And if you don't come up to speed and you don't execute on these things, you know, you're going to get paid less, or you're going to opt out of it, or you're going to default, or you're going to void your contract or something like that. You know what I'm talking about. They all do it. Think about it. If you're going to be in a movie that's paying you tens of millions of dollars, even $1 million, $5 million, who cares? Like, that's a lot of money for one movie. When you're going to play a boxer that's going to be shredded, you have to train to box. So these people are doing this kind of stuff, and they're taking a little bit of TRT or whatever it is, and they're leaning out, getting hard, and they're dieting down, they're getting shredded and doing water depletion so they can look shredded for a scene. They all do it. They all do it. Whatever it is. Why not? But why wouldn't you too? Especially if it's not plastic surgery. If you're just doing some testosterone, hey, if that's what you're doing, you're an actor. And just think, we're combining this shit. People combine this stuff as if an actor, as if the fucking Rock or Zac Efron or anyone cares about being natty or not. That's like some YouTube shit that popped up because people lie online. Shocker, they lie. These are people that are shocked that human beings can be inauthentic to one another. These are people that I don't know, they're not part of society, or they didn't grow up on AOL in the 90s or something like that. People lie all the fucking time. So Photoshop, yeah. Natty or not, sure. But I don't think Zac Efron, The Rock, or whoever the fuck it is, they're getting paid money and they're just going to do something. Some of these guys emaciate themselves and starve themselves or gain 60 pounds for a role. You don't think they'll inject a little bit of testosterone for a couple weeks? But they'll starve themselves to be skin and bones, or they'll gain 60 fucking pounds, but they won't put a needle in their arm. People are voluntarily putting needles in their arms now with experimental drugs. I don't think they'll be that afraid of putting in a little bit of testosterone. People are more than eager to follow the bouncing ball, aren't they? All right. Aaron Pons, Papa Swolio, what is good for lunch meat to make sandwiches? What is your opinion on cheese? I avoid dairy as much as possible. Lactose and casein. I just avoid that as much as possible. And lunch meat? How about a grass-fed steak? You could chop that up right there, baby. You want to avoid deli meats. I don't eat deli meats and stuff like that. And I'm not eating breads and stuff. I'm not making sandwiches. That just doesn't compute as food. I love cold food. I love cold steak. Not a problem. I usually cook another steak in advance if I eat some of it the night before. Otherwise, I got some cold steak. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. The question is, why are you making a sandwich? Why are you making sandwiches? Eat some food. Sandwiches are weird. Where did sandwiches start? Why do we have to... Where did that come from? I feel like the first sandwich... I feel like a sandwich was made because people had leftover stuff and they didn't have enough to make a regular meal, so they just kind of put it together. And like, oh, well, we got 2 pieces of this wheat. Let me just We got a little bit of this. Let's just smash this. Let me just hold it together and put it in my mouth. I feel like that's where it came from. I feel like that's where a sandwich came from. Someone a long time ago barely had any food left in the fridge or in the pantry. They just like put everything on a plate and kind of held it together and like, oh shit, look at this. Right? Isn't there, or there's a place, Sandwich, right? Sandwich Ireland or some shit. Or Sandwich England. Oh, fuck. You reheat your steak? No, don't do it. Eat it cold. It's awesome. Some of the best, it's great. You know what's great cold? New York strip is great cold. Skirt steak is amazing cold. Ribeye is amazing cold. I love cold bacon. Oh, fuck yeah. Love it all, baby. New Delhi. Get it? Yeah. Well, you guys know that corn, wheat, all these grains, this is what the poor people ate. The kings would have the pork and the beef and the chicken and the fresh fish. That wasn't for the poor people. That was for filling up your stomach as you were starving as a serf. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Amazing Doom. Sandwiches are a typical depression food. Yeah, I agree with that. We eat depression food voluntarily. People are eating corn pops and corn flakes and shit like that. People are eating this Frosted Flakes. People are eating this nasty, nasty shit on the regular. People are drinking soda voluntarily. In a first world country like the United States, where we have so much plentiful. We have everything at our fingertips and people are choosing to eat garbage. Choosing to eat garbage. Choosing to eat shit. Voluntarily consuming fake-ass garbage. That's my perception of it. That's what I see. If you're eating real food, I can't eat the way I eat and look at a sandwich and look at that. I can't look at it as food. I don't see it as food. It's not an eating disorder. It's just understanding of what real food is and being a human and being more connected to being a human. I just have no desire to feel the outcome of what consuming that would lead to. I don't like to feel bloated and sluggish. I don't like to have those energy crashes. You get that with processed carbohydrates and gluten. You get that with grains. You get that with simple carbohydrates, processed carbs. You get that shit. You get that feeling of just exhaustion, being wiped out, fatigue, brain fog. No shit. Jen, thanks to COVID, I cannot taste soda anymore. Really? When did you have COVID? You can't taste soda. No loss there, but you still don't have, your sense of smell. Mama Swolio lost her smell for a couple days. I stayed in the apartment the whole time. I was there the whole time. I didn't feel anything. I trained every day. She tested positive, but it was a PCR test. So who knows how many cycles? I don't know how many cycles they went through. So it could have been just negligible that they kind of churned up to, validate a positive test, or, sometimes they cycle those things. Oftentimes they cycle them too much and someone who's completely fine shows up as positive when it's just kind of a trace. But anyway, we stayed for like 10 days, whatever, and I was fine. I didn't feel anything. So a steak sandwich is off the menu. What are you considering a steak? I'm not eating bread. Why? There's no need to be consuming that kind of stuff. There's no need for it. I eat steak. I eat steak. A steak sandwich. A steak. Hold the sandwich. What are you trying to hold together? Eat a sweet potato and a fucking steak. Or have some rice and have a steak. Or just have a fucking steak. It's good as it is. Steak doesn't need to be fancy. You don't have to dress it up. It's good the way it is. Just fucking mouth. Whole. Face hole. Give me a steak sandwich. Hold the sandwich. Look, you can do whatever you want, but I don't see the purpose of, there's no need to make a steak any more amazing than just steak. No need. Put some meat. Yeah, put some meat on that. Let's have a steak sandwich with steak bread. Just put steak around the steak and have like a triple layer steak. Let's see here. Bam, 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 bam. Bunny, my friend got it, lost her sense of taste and smell for a few months. Yeah, anyone. I mean, you can listen to all the podcasts. We've talked about ivermectin. We talked about Brett Weinstein's podcast, the censorship. I've talked about this for weeks, but you can check that out. And anyone that you know that has long haul COVID, that's been shown to be very beneficial. So can look into that. They're coming out with, you start to see in the news, they're starting to try to scare everyone about the Indian variant. Like, oh my God, be careful. Not everyone's gonna be vaccinated by July 4th. So now we're gonna have to hide because now the Indian variant's gonna be everywhere. And if you listen to some of his podcasts, talks about how vaccinations mid-pandemic are probably one of the worst things you can do because it amplifies the mutations and weakens the population and mitigates herd immunity. But hey, if you really wanted to stop this problem, you would be looking at all the different options, no matter what, without prejudice. But apparently, we don't want to do science anymore, and we don't really want to stop this thing. So what's the real incentive? Why is bread bad for you? A lot of people have major digestive issues with gluten, and not just celiacs, but cellular inflammation, leaky gut. This is processed carbohydrates. I personally don't believe that humans are supposed to eat grains. I think that's an emergency food. I think that's a famine food. And that's really just a product of agriculture. It's a product of human beings planting and not being hunters and gatherers anymore and just staying in one place. And that's what really started famines. That's what really initiated droughts and huge problems, because you have this monocrop culture that starts to sprout up. And when you have bugs or bad seasons, it just wipes out the population because the one source of food is eradicated. And it pretty much decreased and diminished humans' ability to be anti-fragile and live off the land, essentially. Yeah, there's a lot of added sugar, and there's a lot of other, nuts, a lot of other nuts and seeds and ingredients and preservatives that can cause a lot of gut and inflammatory issues. And the thing is, not everyone's going to react the same way. I used to eat bread, and some people are like, oh, I like Ezekiel bread and sprouted bread. All that stuff is just, seriously, there's absolutely I haven't eaten bread in a long time, a couple years. Even like not even having some Ezekiel bread. Zero. I don't miss it at all. I'm not missing anything. I'm not, oh my God, I miss the energy or the physique I had, and I don't even think about it. Oh, let's see here. Man, it's fucking hot. It is hot. What's the temperature where you all are at? What's the temperature where you're at? Fuck, it's hot. All right. Any last questions? My Sour Patch Candy. How about Sour Patch Candy? Haven't had that shit in like 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, this stuff's literal garbage. That was the last thing last little bit I kicked. A long time ago, man. I haven't had that in a long time. Thank you, Lenora. You're very entertaining and funny. Why, thank you very much.
I'd be the luckiest guy alive if that did it for me.
I appreciate it.
What you just said.
Oh, no, not that one.
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
I was going to be like, what you just said is the most idiotic. No. Don't insult her. Don't insult her. Be nice.
Hello, baby.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum set.
Not your drum set. I don't think you play the drums. Just hitting all sorts of, oh, what we got here? What we got here? Christina, 7 Pillars, got a nice pour down right now. It feels nice. Nice. Very nice. Some gorillas for you. Fantastique. Lenora, let's see. Tonight's dinner, grass-fed beef, 2 pasture organic eggs, and avocado. Look at you. Look at you. Amazing Doom. Where I live, ivermectin is a prescription drug, so you can't get it without proof of having parasites. Yeah, figures. Where do you live? Figures. According to your studies, Why is medication bad for you? You need to get more specific than that. I'm not saying medication. What's your context? That's a vague statement. And all this would be my opinion. So having an opinion on science is like, it's kind of a weird twist. So everything contained within the Daily Swole, it's all my opinion. Yeah, and a lot of it is based on my education. It's based on my experience. It's based on facts. And a lot of it's just, things that I've extrapolated. Now, it depends on what the question is, because most of you don't consume anywhere near the amount of content and the variety of content that I consume. And most people don't. And I'm not talking about you, but it's like in general. So a lot of you are aware and listen and read and think about the same things, because we always talk about this. We talk about this on Roundtable. We talk about this on the Red, White, and Swole podcast. We talk about it here on the Daily Swole. So a lot of us are plugged into similar types of content, but I pull from all different resources and a lot of critical thinking. So it's hard, when you're having a conversation with other people that might disagree, think about everyone's perspective. And I'm not saying lived experience, I mean exposure to information. And a lot of people don't have the ability to spend a lot of time consuming information and cross-checking. And most people have been brainwashed into thinking into what to think in school and not how to think. Most people don't know how to critically think. So when they're presented with the truth, when they're presented with real objective information, what do? They get scared and they hide, because it's easier to have cognitive dissonance. It's easier to deny reality and stay safe rather than face adversity. And that's the problem with helicopter parenting and 8th place trophies and shit. And it started decades ago in universities, but that's why they're trying to start in schools. That's why parents are freaking out. I really think shit's going to hit the fan probably in August, September. And if you think it hasn't hit the fan yet, it is. But I think it's really going to hit the fan when this Indian variant, quote unquote, is going, it goes nuts when they start to really push that narrative that the Indian variant's going to be ripping through. So you're going to start seeing more severe vaccinated versus unvaccinated situations. And I think once it hits the classrooms, when schools or districts, because there's so many little subcategories, there's state law, there's district law, and there's individual schools, there's private schools, blah, blah, blah. Once they start separating kids or requiring all students to get vaccinated for coming back to school, or they start separating the vaccinated kids with the unvaccinated kids, as you're starting to see in some of the news, I think parents are going to lose their fucking mind. So once you start coming after a mama bear's cubs, shit's going to go down. You start fucking with people's kids, they're going to lose their shit. So even if they are hardcore pro establishment and they get their vaccination, a lot of people still aren't going to want to give it to their kids. Maybe the parent has to do it because their job requires it. And if they don't get it, they can't provide for their family. So like, fuck, I have to get it. But I'll be damned if my kid fucking gets it. And rightfully so. I don't believe kids should be getting it at all. It's not safe. And that's just a fact. It's not. It's experimental, and it's literally exactly that's the truth. I'm not saying one thing or another. It's just that's the fact, and people that want to ignore that and make it seem like this shit's been around for 10 years and it's been vetted and get the fuck out of here. It's cut corners for monetary reasons, for profit. Cut all the corners to get the emergency authorization. But hey, it's so blatant and obvious. It's frustrating when people just don't want to address reality. Oh, is that right? Eric, the town next to me wants to put vaccinated and unvaccinated in different buildings. This is so bad. This is so bad. You mean students? You mean kids? God, that's so bad. Let's see. Bunny Love, 7 Pillars. We talk about moving to either Texas or Florida because Boston is a beach state now. Well, look, people are welcome here in Florida, but seriously, if you come down to Florida, make sure you vote. Vote for freedom, please. Thank you. Whichever party points to that direction. All right. You know, I mean, please don't bring your Don't bring your train wreck down here. Thank you. That is all. I think that's the most sinister shit. It's like you're gonna move to a different state and then bring in the same fucking nonsense. Yep, I agree. Bunny Love, I'm gonna homeschool. They will not screw with my baby bear. Yeah, if I ever have kids, get the fuck out of here. I'm not letting the state raise my children. That's what they want to do. If they could break apart the family and indoctrinate the kids, kids believe in Santa Claus. Children believe in the fucking Easter Bunny. Okay? If you plant in their fucking heads all this ideological nonsense, they're going to believe that shit when they get older. It's really hard to uninstall that operating system. It's really hard. Homeschooling is illegal in my country. Where do you live, Amazing Doom? Are you in the UK? Damn. Can Canada come? Let's see. Lenora, there's a place for everything but food quality and nutrient density never considered in helping 2 out of 5 of my kids with their ADHD. I opted not to medicate and now they are great. Good for you. I'm so against all that stuff with kids getting just pumped full of medication. You're literally feeding kids garbage. You're teaching them nonsense. You're keeping them stuck in a fucking seat all day at school. It's daycare, but it's essentially like Guantanamo for children. You're a child. You should be running and climbing, exploring and going out camping and being in the fucking woods and playing in a field and learning how to build shit outside and learn teamwork and cooperation, how to interact with other students, not just sitting in a chair and answer the teacher. It's so fucking weird. You're not teaching them anything. They're not learning anything. You're programming them. They're not learning. It's more important to learn how to learn. And this is why when most people graduate high school or graduate college, what happens? Like, fuck, I'm not reading a... How many of you were like that? How many of you were like, at least for a while, I think most of us were like you graduate from college and you're like, fuck that, I'm done. You're just dragged through the mud throughout school. And then after you're done, you're like, fuck, I'm never reading a book again the rest of my life. And a lot of people don't. You know, I went back, I've always been interested in learning and acquiring information. And now I'm really passionate about and absorbing everything. But it really beats the desire to learn out of you. For many people, it just beats the fucking desire to acquire information out of you. Because it tells you what to think. It doesn't tell you how to pursue information, how to learn more. You learn how to respond and say, yes, sir, no, sir, or yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And then you go to your factory and then they tell you what to do and you punch in, you punch out, you eat lunch at this time when the fucking whistle goes off. And then 5 o'clock, you punch out, you go home and you have 2 days off on the weekend. You follow the holidays, you go back to school 9 to 5 and white picket fence, the whole shit. Only you go back 40, 50, 60 years, it was actually possible to have the whole white picket fence. Now it's not possible anymore. That's what happens when you debase the country. You debase the currency and sell all our jobs overseas to China. That's what fucking happens when you destroy a country.
First, take a big step
That's
back
what happens.
And literally fuck your own face.
Sell off everyone's fucking jobs and cause ridiculous, endless inflation by going off the gold standard. And guess what? People's lives decay. Divorce rates go up. Crime goes up. Despair goes up. Suicide, depression, mental disease, obesity, everything spikes. Everything spikes. A lot of you probably went, we talked about that before, right? The website, WTF happened in 1971. Go check it out. WTF happened in 1971.com. It's a classic site. It's great. What the fuck happened? Went off the gold standard. Very simple. Aaron Pons, Papa Swolio, explain to me why plastic is bad for you. I've heard you speak against plastic phthalates. What episode was that with Dr. Shanna Swan on Joe Rogan? Someone dropped that in the comments. Was it 1619 or 1618 or 1613? Someone dropped that in the comments. Go listen to that. I'm not going to go into it all. Let her explain it. It's a really good episode. There you go. 13. Thank you, Jen. Joe Rogan, 1638, Dr. Shanna Swan. Her book is also what? Countdown? It's called The Countdown or something like that. It's not just BPA, right? So in the episode talking about how BPA free doesn't mean that it's not BPF free. There's other BPs out there. So You know, hey, BPA isn't in there, but we have other things in there. Because once you say, oh, BPA free, it's good marketing. But then they put other types of plastics and shit in there. Yeah, never microwave plastic. So you have to mitigate it as much as possible. It's really hard to get rid of all the plastics, but it's definitely possible to minimize it. We got a bunch of glass containers with bamboo tops, so there's no plastic on it. They're actually really cool. Let's see, Matthew, I hated learning all through school because they forced shit I knew was bullshit. It was when I was done with school that I now try to learn everything that matters. Life became my classroom. Damn straight, dude. Well said. Well said. Bunny Love, my dad always taught me to question everything, but I'm 46. I think things were a little different when I went. Yeah, it was earlier than that. I mean, this kind of stuff's been getting implanted in schools since the 60s and 70s, but really ramped up in the last 10, 20 years. Did you guys see the Olympic trials or that news where that chick turned her back on the flag and actually covered her head during the national anthem, claiming that it's like offensive to her or some bullshit? People are such fucking psychopaths. It's ridiculous. Oh my God. It's unreal. That's right, Jarella. Some are worse than BPA. Right on. Totally true. All right. Any last questions? Drop in the comments below. We can continue for a couple more moments if you got it. It got cool. It cooled off a little bit. I was finishing up my coffee because I'm going to pump after this. So maybe that's why I was really sweating, but it is really hot outside today. It is a wee hot outside today. All right. Hashtag 7 pillars for a chance to win today's Swole card. I think we are going to have a nice giveaway in just a moment. Let me make a couple announcements for those of you that just might be tuning in now. Make sure you check out the brand new episode. Check out the brand new Swolenormous audio experience. So how many of you are subscribed to all the shows? Make sure you do so. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, wherever you like to get your man casts. The Daily Swole, the Swolenormous audio experience, Red, White, and Swole, and the Swolenormous Procast. Brand new audio experience dropped today. So go check that out. And tomorrow, accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time, live inside Swole TV. Make sure that you head on over to swolenormousx.com and join today. Get access to all the private live streams for less than $5. And of course, we got unlimited memberships, 3, 6, and 12-month options for a limited time for Hot Swole Summer. Head on over there and learn more, swolenormousx.com/memberships. Go give it a look-see. And for Daily Swole listeners, over there at papaswolio.com.
Fucking Catalina wine.
That's right.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
It's fucking Swolenormous apparel. Use code DailySwole for 10% off over at papaswolio.com. Again, use code DailySwole for 10% off. You won't regret it because that gear will cover your nips so very nice.
How dare you?
Well, Greta, I don't think you have nips. I have my doubts. I think you're nipless. You're nipless, Greta. And I don't want to be proved correct or incorrect. I just want to say that and move on. I don't even want to think about it because I feel like... Your
father was a woman.
That just grossed me out. I gross myself out sometimes. I just said something and then I get a visual and I'm like, oh God. Yeah.
It's all bullshit. All of it.
Matthew, did you add those containers to your Amazon page? Containers? What do you mean? Oh, I don't know. I'll check. I think I was going to give there's a bunch of things that need to be uploaded to that. I think we were talking about, I think Mama Swolio is going to go through and add a bunch of other things. I kind of go through and add everything else. I want to add as much stuff as I can, like anything that's been picked up in terms of kitchen stuff, but I'll try to remember to put those in next time I'm on my phone or Amazon. Papa Swolio, if I don't get all my vitamins from food, can I take supplements? I would look into beef organ supplements or organ meats. I don't personally take any vitamins and such like that. There you go, Citrine. Very nice. Very nice. Cerny, have you seen pics of Greta? She's a fatty now. Really? Really? Well, she's a vegan after all. Too many carbs. Too many carbs, Greta.
How dare you?
Come on, man.
Joe Biden, he wants to make sure that you only eat a pound of meat a year or some shit like that.
That's fucking
right?
bullshit.
Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, fuck plastic. Yeah, ancestral supplements are the shit. I love them. My favorite ones are the beef organ, the bone marrow. I love blood vitality. And there's so many good ones, actually. Yeah, there's so many good ones, but those are really good. The blood vitality one's great. I got it from Mama Swolio, like when she's on her period and stuff, but I take it too. When I'm on my period. Ha ha ha.
If you can't be at least mildly interesting, then shut the hell up.
My name's Forrest Gump.
Biden whispering, huh?
Look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old, sitting there with her, like a little lady with her legs crossed.
I have a video. I need to get the new one from the latest ones, but I haven't like edited that yet. I got a couple sounds I want to add. We got a couple upgrades to the soundboard. I got a couple more I want to add to it. I'm trying to see how many more things. I almost feel like I need another soundboard, but I have. God, there's so many. I got so many stream decks. It's fucking everywhere. Maybe I'll swap out some of the less popular ones. They're all popular. I hit them all. I hit all of them.
This is Marjorie Stewart Baxter.
Crucifixion was good. Out of the door, line on the left, one cross each.
God, I love Life of Brian. Such a good foe. I gotta delete the knee one. The knee. Because remember I got flagged? Remember I told you that? I got flagged for, I don't know, copyright because I used a sound from a movie that was made like 50 fucking years ago. That's right. I gotta delete this one. Let me delete that now. Bunk. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Want to make some sick gains. I want to make some gains today. I'll get swoller if I lift every day. 7 pillars, baby. That doesn't work. The Chinese were fat shaming her because she tried going after them. Weird. Okay, let's give away the Swole card. Motherfuckers, let's go. Here we go. Come on, Freddy. What we got? Who wants it? Who wants it? Come on now, Freddy. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, big money. Big money. Scroll. Blank. Fuck your chicken sandwich. Not the 7 pillars, but close. That was you, sir. And you fuck your chicken sandwich. Brick. One more. Shift workers. And some of you drop a lot of 7 pillars. I haven't landed on any of them yet. I see the same person dropping like 1,000 7 pillars. 3, 2, 1. Christian Guerra, congratulations. It's been a hot minute since you won one. Congratulations, Christian. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 1878 in the subject and your mailing address in the body of the email. We all love all your posts, Christian. And thank you for keeping us focused, especially on Flex Friday. So a little bit more round of applause. Gorillas. Yow. Hadouken! Very, very nice. All right. Send us that email. Excellent. And fam, I'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting. Remember, join the Swole fam today, swolenormousx.com. Share the podcast with someone that you know that loves to make sick fucking gains. And also check me out on TikTok. If you're not following the Daily Swole page on TikTok, a lot of you are following me at Papa Swolio, but check the one person I'm following. And of course, that's a Daily Swole, posting a lot of clips there as well. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up. papaswolio.com, Daily Swole code, the code Daily Swole for 10% off. And of course, make sure you head on over to swolenormousx.com so you are there for tomorrow's live stream. Accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time. Falcon, wrap this motherfucker up, Falcon. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, baby. You got it, Peaceful Bandit. Much appreciated. Thanks, Papa. Great episode. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Josh got the Swole Slut duo coming in both card and shirt. Fuck yes. Yow. That's what I'm talking about. Yow. Oh, just told one of my customers about the fam, because the fam is the fucking shit.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
You are a big deal.
Make sure the television, excuse me, make sure you have the record player on at night.
You got it, Bunny. We'll see you tomorrow, 12 noon, Eastern time. Jamming out.
We hold these truths to be self-evident.
Jesus Christ.
All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Well, thank you, fam, for joining me for 1878. We'll see you tomorrow for the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pincast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps, but that's the standard, don't you know? Making some sick fucking games.
What are you looking at, butthead?
Ooh. Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna show her my swole face.
Boom shakalaka!
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
Make me happy.
Fucking nailed it.
Chicks will dig you, or dudes, or whatever gender thing you're into.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down, so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
All right, fam. Mañana 1879. Fam, we are almost into the 19 hundos. Can I get a hells yeah? Can I get a hells yeah? 19 hundos, baby. Yeah, fucking on fire. We're on fire. We're on fire. I'm fucking amped. Oh my God. Time to go get a sick fucking pump. And I'm really excited for tomorrow's releases, fam. I'm really excited. Tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. Gonna lay it all on you like a big, burly ball bag. We're just gonna get a big old sack. Tomorrow, the Monday sack. The Monday sack. You're just gonna get a huge ball bag of releases. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be sloppy. It's gonna be salty. It's gonna be vinegary. It's gonna be all those things that you have come to know and love and to expect on the Daily Swole. And we'll see you tomorrow for 1879 accountability meeting inside Swole TV. Be there or be square. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swolio. Ow.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict.
What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's
Three girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
that's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my